Hello, good evening, and welcome. I am not Tom, believe it or not. My name is Michael Walsh, and I'm going to be your storyteller for this evening, otherwise known as the Watcher for this What If one shot special edition of Laser Vision Comics. Ladies and gentlemen, allow my cast to introduce themselves for this fantastic tale this evening. Eventually, you know.
There we go.
There we go. I swear I'm not alone.
We made it.
Yes.
I was waiting for you to choose somebody.
Oh. I could definitely roll a die. Jen.
Okay, I'm Jen. I'm playing Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, and I'll be probably altering my voice to sound more male because I've done it before in D&D, and that's all you need to know.
Who's next?
I'll
go. Hi, my name is Tom. I've never actually played Prowlers and Paragons, and now I'm choking on spit.
It's getting all choked up.
Exactly. He's such an emotional.
You were so moved.
And I will be playing Dr. Kurt Connors, the Lizard.
And I guess last but not least, I am Raybo 007. I will be Quentin Beck, also known as the Master of Illusion Mysterio.
Yay.
Very nice. And today's tale falls upon a what-if scenario. What if Tony Stark did not create the artificial intelligence that brought to life Ultron and Fission with Bruce Banner? What if he did that with a couple of other individuals? So let's delve into that a little more. Let's go back in time a little bit, 2015. We witnessed Earth's mightiest heroes take on the evil robot Ultron and his army of deadly drones. But the creation of Ultron itself was inspired by Tony Stark receiving an apocalyptic vision of potential future fueled by magical suggestion from one Wanda Maximoff. And while the specific circumstances behind Tony's vision of the Avengers being defeated by Thanos did not come to pass, many of the ominous portents within the magical prophecy were fulfilled in their own indirect ways by the time Iron Man faced off against Thanos. Bruce Banner kept Tony on a line of compliance when constructing the AI that was meant for protector drones, as Tony put it, to put a shield around Earth. It still led to thousands of deaths and the beginning of the Sokovia Accords, but that's a tale for a different time. We're not going to talk about that this evening. What if Bruce never helped Tony build the AI, though? What if he created with the help from others? That's where tonight's tale begins, at Ravencroft Asylum for the Superhuman Criminally Insane in Westchester County, southeast New York. We zoom in on a jail cell about 6 or 8 inches thick, surrounded by specialty bulletproof impact plexiglass. And in the center of the cell, which is 12 to 14 by 12 to 14, you have a upscale cot, television in the corner, small dresser, a toilet in the far corner with a small partition, and one Norman Osborn sitting on his bed. Norman, would you mind describing yourself?
Okay, so I'm rich as can be. Maybe not that rich. Close enough. Someday I'll have it all. I don't know why I'm in here. I am too important to be held in a jail. What is my character wearing at this point? I don't know.
You tell me.
Okay, so we're in a We're in a jail.
You're in a psychiatric institute.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they've probably got me in one of those straitjackets right now. So I don't do anything.
Yeah, possibly. Or, you could be just in a cell. You don't have to be typically tied up or anything.
Okay. Then, yeah. All right. Then I'm just wearing whatever the prison gives you, or if I can use my own clothes, I'll use those.
Okay. Let's go with state issued items: sweatpants, socks,
Sure.
Velcro sneakers, a jacket, or a possible hooded sweatshirt that does not have strings in it. We can't have any ligature issues. And approaching your cell is a couple of guards,
Okay.
and they have a small briefcase that has to be put into a specialty container that is shipped through the partition to you. So as you open it from the other end, you set it upon your dresser and open it up, and it has a tablet in it. And
Interesting.
you're very familiar with this because this is how you get your digital visitations. You are allowed in-person visitations, but this time it's done virtually.
All right. What's on it?
You don't remember having a scheduled visitation today. And as the tablet comes on, you see a silhouette of a woman with long hair, in some type of pointed shouldered business jacket, but you really can't tell much beyond that because it's completely shaded out. And the voice that comes across is warped, but clear as day. Hello, Norman.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm just as annoyed as I was yesterday.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. However, I'm hoping that a proposition I'm about to give to you is going to possibly cheer you up and change your entire outlook on life.
Do tell. I'm listening.
So, the proposition that's going to be pitched to you is a one-time only deal. We're going to have someone come into the Institute that is going to grant your parole a little earlier than you ever thought. It's not only going to be you, it's going to be a handful of individuals. And all you have to do is listen to what this person tells you and follow their instructions to a T. And when you and I finally get to meet on the outside, I will give you more answers. Are you interested in being paroled?
Yes. It's quite boring here.
I understand the incarceration has been not to your liking. And on the outside, I'm sure you've seen on the TV, and if they give you access to newspapers, have read, your stocks have significantly plummeted.
That is a problem.
Well, hopefully we can do things again, as I'm going to put it, to change your outlook on life and possibly give you a brand new chance to start over.
Financially? Or otherwise?
Probably a little bit of everything. It'll be much more clear when you're on this side of the stone walls.
All right.
Do you accept?
Yes. Now, when do I get out of here?
You'll know when the time arises. However, trust in the individual that we send to take care of everything.
Do I know the individual?
Oh, you know quite well. However,
I
can't really go into detail beyond that because the item that you're holding in your hand is going to be erased in about 15 seconds.
Okay, then. See you later, I guess.
I look forward to our next conversation, Norman.
We'll see what happens.
With that, the screen completely blanks out, and the inside of the tablet actually gets hot and it starts to smoke up.
I push it back through the little drawer, here, have a smoke bomb. I
You
didn't
push it back
create it.
in, and
Give me something that actually works and doesn't blow up.
Yeah.
the guard takes it back, and he looks a little
Mhm.
paranoid at it, and he starts to call in a couple people, and they get a
Wasn't
mini
me.
fire extinguisher just in case, and they take it away,
Mm.
and they can't really get any info off of it. And then you hear something come over a loudspeaker inside the cell that says, "Did you do anything to tamper with the tablet, Mr. Osborne? This is
No, I
supposed to be for
simply,
visitations only."
I simply picked it up. That's all.
Very well. We understand you've been trying to be a decent patient, and you are complying with therapy and medication. So we don't have any current reasoning to out you at this time.
Mm.
We just have a priority to make sure all of our patients are safe and secure here, of course.
Oh, I'm just as safe as I was the last few days I've been in here.
So let's elaborate on that for a minute or two. You've been in this cell for about 6 months now.
Mhm.
The last time you were actually out was with a conversation with one Tony Stark that turned into a major altercation that took off half of his penthouse suite in his tower.
That was fun.
Would you care to go into detail about anything that happened in that conversation?
Well, considering I'm still in a jail cell, I'm probably not going to respond to much of that, but he can be a jerk at times, and we had a disagreement over technology.
Yeah, something like that.
Mhm.
Let's jump over to the next cell. Just coincidentally, another individual that you know quite well, and at times you can hear on overnights, scratching of the walls. But try as he might, he's not going to be able to get through this type of partition material that's specially made for the superhuman criminally insane. Let's step over to Dr. Connors. Inside Dr. Connors' cell, you would see a chair that's looking like it was custom built for your size, but it's facing backwards. So it's actually with the back end at the front of it, and you can see 2 armholes that have an extremely thick, sturdy, canvased, long-sleeved, straight jacket that's custom made just for you. And if you lean into it at the front top end, it has a muzzle that is actually custom fit for your face. And you've grown accustomed to this right before feedings. And you normally have 2 options. You can either comply, get into it, it automatically straps itself up, and then you have someone that actually comes into the cell and delivers food, cleans up after it, and then exits. And if at any time you flinch or move or do anything that is proactive, that could be seen as any act of altercation and/or violence. The inside of the jacket, to your dismay, injects tons of different types of tranquilizers into you. You normally wake up an hour or two afterwards with a tray of food portioned to your size. At times, you have attempted to not comply, and it hasn't really ended up in your favor. It is lunchtime, and you do see several of the guards, if you made it up to the front end of your cell's vantage point, staring into Norman's cell and seeming kind of paranoid about an item that just came out of it. What does Mr. Connors currently appear as?
He is a gigantic bipedal lizard, probably close somewhere between an alligator and a probably a Gila monster. He normally has his customary lab coat because he is a doctor, but they seem to have stripped him of that. And they've just left him in, I guess, the regular hospital garb. I'm assuming he's not muzzled at the moment because they're not coming in to feed him.
You are not currently muzzled, but it is almost lunchtime.
Okay. He's going to go up to the glass and he wants to see if he can read lips and see if he can maybe understand what somebody's saying.
Read lips. You
Yeah.
know, you are quite smart.
He is.
You do have a very good vantage point. Let's do the first roll.
Yay.
I will let you use either perception or intellect.
I will use intellect because he is
Okay.
better at that. So
Let's see what you can do.
2, 3, 4 successes.
4, you take your time, and anybody that's sitting in a cell for as long as you have, which has been almost the same amount of time as Mr. Osborne, has nothing but time on their hands. And as they see people going back and forth in front of the cell over the past couple of weeks and couple of months, you grown accustomed to attempting to catch what people are saying here and there. So you do press up your whole head up against the plexi partition. You are able to see the guards, and it doesn't take too much effort to see. They just pulled something out. It had a little bit of smoke coming out of it, and then you pretty much heard everything the guard that was speaking into the intercom said into the cell, but you couldn't hear anything coming out, obviously. But it was basically questioning what happened to the tablet, making sure that Norman was safe, and just checking up on him. From interactions, you do know that Norman from time to time does have tablets delivered in there for visitation. You as well. Once or twice, they've attempted to do a virtual visitation from your wife, but you haven't really had the tolerance in order to keep up. So they tend to be quite short.
I can be ill-tempered.
A little bit. So your time in the cell, like I said, has just been the same amount as Norman's. However, you didn't end up in here because of Iron Man. How did you end up in here?
And that is where the player's trying to remember.
Or you can get really creative and just
Mix
pull
it.
it out of your rectum. I'm cool with that too.
On my latest attempt to regain my humanity, I was attempting to get some needed materials for a transfusion when I was so rudely interrupted by some of, I guess, Mr. Stark's automatons, which ultimately led me back to this place.
Yeah, those things have been popping up a hell of a lot more often, it seems. And you too have access to a television inside your cell, even though you can't actually have access to changing the channels on it. But at certain times of the day, they do provide the news and adequate entertainment for specific intervals.
All they show is The View. Can't they change this damn TV?
They're trying to rehabilitate you through Oprah, obviously. So you have seen in the news that the drones have been significantly cleaning up the streets, at least from this news vantage point of New York City. It's also making notice to taking out some of the heavy superpower crime lords, such as Kingpin, Tombstone, Hammerhead. among others. And in slim pits, you've also been catching individuals such as the Prowler and even Daredevil having spotlight stories of having to go up against them, but they've been able to escape their clutches as of late. Those damn vigilantes. But it seems to be more and more of a common occurrence that pops up in the news, the interactions between the drones and supers, be it good or evil. And in the altercation outside of Mr. Osborne's cell, one of the guards that is wheeling away a cart that had the Halliburton briefcase on it happens to be somebody who appears who they shouldn't be. Mr. Quentin Beck,
Yes.
you are posing as one James McDonald, who's supposed to be a guard in the Ravencroft Institute. You are currently wheeling away a cart, and you are headed off to the break room. Would you mind describing your character for us, please?
Well, right now they look like a guard when they're not in one of their illusions. You see a mostly androgynous person in a suit, usually with a dome on their head, obscured in smoke. Can't see their face. Um, Not much is known. But they like to hide and amaze people with the things that they can do.
You are quite outlandish and famous in at least the tri-state area and the New York City fandom as far as your encounters with certain individuals such as Daredevil, Spider-Man, Heroes for Hire.
Spider-Man
However,
and his mouth.
and his mouth. This is 100% true. However, you're here for a different reason. You were actually hired to come here in order to give early parole to several individuals. After heading back into the break room, an item starts to vibrate on your wrist, and a communication comes through a smartwatch.
Oh, bathroom break.
You head into the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you head in. You make sure nobody else is in there. It's a couple stalls, but everything is empty. You lock it up behind you, and you check your wrist. And on the screen pops up a similar woman figured silhouette of a head that says, "It's time, Mr. Beck."
You
Are you
have
ready?
impeccable timing.
Well, I did select the perfect individual for such spring cleaning, let's call it, of such a fine institution such as this.
Indeed. I am ready.
You have been given the specific cells that you need to open up and the area that you need to egress out of. Do you have any other questions before you start?
No, I think it should be relatively easy. These low pay guards shouldn't be too hard to distract and take care of.
I wouldn't underestimate them. These individuals are in this institution for a specific reason. I wish you luck.
Luck is for the less advanced.
Very well. and the transmission on the smartwatch goes dead. How do you proceed from this point on, Mr. Beck?
So, how long have they been under, infiltrating? Would be
You've
my
been
first
in.
question.
You've been in about almost the same amount of time that at least these two have been incarcerated, about 6 months.
With the same
Yep.
with the same person,
Yep.
like Visage.
Yep.
Excellent. So I would
You have a pretty
really
good, rapport.
Excellent. So first thing I need to do is release their cells. So I would what would be my next task? Because if you're saying I'm on break, what would be my next task after break?
You can go wherever you want. So you have
Wash your
access
hands
to pretty
first,
much.
please. So,
You make sure to wash those damn
Obviously.
hands.
Gotta wash
Um,
the hands.
This stream highly encourages personal hygiene. Soap and water, not a sponsor, but highly encouraged. So you have access to basically.
Gotta take the gloves off so it looks like the hologram is taking off his hand.
So excluding like super high administrative areas, anything that involves security of any type, or you having a giant key ring of about 60 to 70 different types of keys, you have access to, I want to say, 85 to 90% of wherever you need to go, from the camera room to being able to get in and out of corridors, offices, whatever.
So my first direction would be to where the controls to open the cell doors would be.
There is a control hub, and inside there are two guards that sit in front of an array of screens. And what their basic job is they go in. One sits at a desk in case any incidents happen, and it's kind of like the nervous system to the institute. So if anybody has a clogged toilet, if there's an incident that somebody has to go out to a hospital, if a staff gets injured or whatnot, all calls come in here. The other individual is responsible for doing all rounds on the cameras. And as you look up in there, you can see varying degrees on the cameras of either people doing patrols or there's still staff. It's around almost noon. Staff in offices, staff in the in-house cafeteria. It has a recreation area that's kind of like an indoor gym that has an upper track hanging on it. And then you have access to the views on almost the entire outer perimeter. Part of the perimeter connects to the Hudson River, and a bunch of individuals that get shipped up here find it safer through the state to have them actually shipped up in a ship, and depending on their level of superhuman abilities, they're delivered in these extra large, heavily reinforced crates. So they basically come in looking like small versions of shipping barges, so it doesn't draw too much attention from the public. But you have access to all of that. So you went to the room, and these two individuals are facing away from you, working. They hear somebody coming behind them. They opened it with a key, so obviously they're not alarmed.
Right. Did anybody see me go in? Is there anybody behind
From
me?
the hall? No.
And did a camera see me go in?
If you were coming in through that main hallway, that's a security area hallway. So in the main security office and in the entrances to get into the security areas upstairs where you go upstairs to get changed in the locker room, stuff like that. They don't tend to have cameras in there, but you do have to have a set of keys in order to get in and out.
Excellent. I would assume that I have pretty much my fun little gadgets, and in my fun little gadgets, I would assume I would have some sort of knockout gas.
That is a part of your tech suit.
Excellent.
You do have the ability to disperse that.
Yeah, I think these guys need a little nap. They look a little. They look a little. They look like they're overworked.
So the gas doesn't actually knock them out. The gas that you have that comes out of the suit brings down their perception in mechanical terms to a 1. You do have several things at your disposal. So basically, if you look on your character sheet
Yeah.
under powers, you do have the ability to create basically any illusion you want. That's probably your highest stat. You also have the ability to turn
hypnosis.
visible.
Ooh.
You do have mind control hypnosis. However, in order to operate that, you have to be staring into someone's eyes. So you have to get their attention, and you have to perform hypnosis on them.
Which will probably be not the thing to do. So
you can easily create basically any illusion you want in there.
So yeah, let's go ahead and pop the illusion on their screens that they're having a technical issue and just random cells are opening.
Sure. Roll me 12 dice.
Okay.
That is your hardcore stats.
Yeah.
That's
That sounded like Hungry Hungry Hippos.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
budgets, yes.
So you want to look for evens, and 2s and 4s count as single successes, and 6s count as double successes.
Right. So let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow.
So I need 3 more rolls. Hold on. That was just counting the dice. Okay, there's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 successes.
Alrighty. So across the array on the screens, you start to see the 2 individuals in their chairs panic, and the one hits the other one in the shoulder and starts pointing up at the screen. And then they start panicking, and they start calling over the radios to have other people dispatched over there. And they turn around and they see you, and they go, "Can you believe what's going on up here?"
I can't believe this. You guys need to go get somebody. I can watch this. You guys go find some sort of technical person. You guys get down there quick.
All right. Fantastic. And then they come over the radio. 18 20 to 1710. We're coming in, and they scoop up their duty belts. They're running out as they're attempting to put them on, almost falling down and turning a corner. You are the only one currently in there right now.
Excellent. How many cells can I open?
You have access to open as many as you want.
Yeah, they're all going open.
In the entire institution?
Yep.
Okay. So that's a couple of hundred. So it is broken up into divisions. You were given explicit instructions for several individuals in cell block H.
Yep, they're going first.
You know from being here for almost 6 months, the highest priority individuals are put into H. there are other cases of the criminally insane here that they don't have to be superpower, but it's based off of the severity of the crime. But H is specifically for heavily superpowered individuals.
Then
So,
that whole thing is just open first,
okay.
because strength first, and
Okay.
then everybody else is just
So
chaos.
let's go to cell block H, where there's 2 tiers,
And after that, I'm just walking out.
and there's 2 tiers of cells, and on the opposite wall, on the lower tier, all you see is concrete, and on the upper tier, it is barred off, but you have windows that can see out over the Hudson River. For Dr. Connors and Mr. Osborne, they're on an upper tier. Your cells slowly start to open.
Well,
And at the same time, you hear panic.
Chaos. Wonderful.
What do you
I'm
do?
leaving.
Just pushing his way out the door.
So, as Dr. Connors sticks his head out first, you see at least 4 guards. 2 of them are attempting to run to the other end to get to the actual entrance to the cell block. The other 2 are running to the opposite end of a 14-block hall, and there's cabinets at the other end. You specifically know in those cabinets they have weapons.
Okay, so the level, so the cabinets are on the same level as me or down below?
Same, but at the other end of the hall.
Okay.
And also, as you poke your head out, you would see at least a couple of cells over, a bunch of water out of one of them just starts pouring out. And as it hits the bottom, all you hear is screaming. You don't know why, because you can't see over yet. And at the very tail end, you see a cell that opens up and you see sparks that start coming out of it.
I know who that is.
Man, water and electricity, those two never mix.
They are spaced out for now.
If I can act, or is it my turn to act yet?
So, let's see. So, believe it or not, Mr. Osborne has 1 edge over you. You have 16, but Norman has 17.
Okay.
Okay.
Norman is still under the effects of the Oz formula. Which
Been hiding it this whole time. It's not easy.
Is the equivalent of the shield version that Oscorp was attempting to create of the super soldiers serum.
All right. So, if
What are you
the
doing, Norman?
if the cell is open, I'm walking out.
Step out and
yeah.
see everything I just described.
Exactly. Now, are there guards down the way? Right.
You see at least 2 guards.
Okay.
You're both on the upper tier, so you see 2 heading towards an exit, and then you turn your head and you see Dr. Connor's back of his head staring at the other 2 heading for the cabinets.
That could be interesting. I don't have to hide the serum anymore. I'm going to go marching down the hall towards the 2 guards that seem to be going towards cabinets, if I can.
Okay.
What do I roll? Or do I roll?
You're just marching, so you don't have to roll anything.
Okay, cool. That's where I'm going. Gonna pick a fight.
Dr. Connors.
We're free.
Come with me. Let's create more chaos and get out of here.
No.
Maybe not in that order.
He points a claw at the ones going for the weapons. They need to be taken care of first.
Well, that was the plan. So let's go have some fun, shall we?
And
So
walking
both of you-
towards it.
You are
well,
heading
Dr.
for
Connors
the
would actually
cabinets.
like to leap over there
Fair enough.
to get in
definitely
front of the
can.
guards before
Definitely
they can get to the weapons.
100%. Let's do some rolling.
Okay.
Oh man, leaping lizards.
Oh, you had
It
to
had to be said.
stick that one in there. There we go.
And he has 5 dice in leaping.
Five dice in leaping.
No.
5 dice in leaping. 3 successes.
3 successes. You easily leap over the water.
Mhm.
I believe 5 dice in leaping is up to 25 feet, give or take. So you easily sail across in front of several cells. And because of your reptilian instincts, you do catch an eye past each cell, and you do see the remnants of a cell that was specifically put together to hold tons of liquid. You see a cell that was heavily padded and doesn't seem to have anybody in it. You see the following cell that has an individual that's still laying on a cot that seems to be almost faceless. Like there's no features on said face except for the eyes, 2 holes for a nose, a very small mouth, and they are reading a paper. And as they see you go by, you can tell that's the chameleon. And then before you land, it's right before the cell that has the sparks coming out of it. And I'm pretty sure you know who is in that cell.
Electro. I would like to, as he's landing, swing his tail out and try to hit the guards. If they're close enough.
Sure.
Okay.
I will let you do that if you spend a resolve.
Of course. I'll
Sure.
spend a resolve on that.
So let's do a. You want to do that for the agility since it's in the air, or might?
I would say might because he's
Okay.
really trying to hurt them. So.
Okay. So let's do might.
Okay. 3
These
successes.
guys don't really have any stats, so I'm going to roll 3 dice for them since they're just typical guards. So you hit one, he goes flying forward. You hit the other one, he goes over the rail, and all you hear is a scream.
Good.
Thump. The other one goes flying completely forward into the cabinet, face first, falls backwards. Norman.
Cabinet's open now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Always with dice.
All right, so I'm going to veil myself to whatever weapons are out there and give one to my lizard friend as well and see what else we can do.
You go jogging down, and as you
Mhm.
pass by Electro's cell,
Mhm.
the door's open, but you do see him in there. He's in Institute fatigues, but his arms are locked into some type of device that's made out of heavy plastic. There is absolutely nothing inside the cell that is metal or conductive in any kind of way. And he's like, "Oh, thank God it's you, Norman. You got to let me out of here."
Yeah. Well, I think your door's already open, possibly. Maybe. Let's see what I can do with whatever that thing is on your arm.
Now, this device that has his arms locked in, it also has a piece that goes right into the floor. So he's basically standing up, but he's locked in place.
Locked in place.
Grounded.
Grounded. Oh.
Ah.
Okay, so it's not metal.
It is not metal,
It's not
but
metal.
it is
Okay.
extremely heavy-duty, anti-conductive material. As you're going to investigate in here really quick, Quentin, we're going to go back to you on the camera. You have a digital grid of every single cell block as the doors open. You were given explicit instructions to only free 4 individuals.
Yeah, that's boring.
And get those individuals to a certain spot.
Mhm.
So you see from the digital grid, everything opened up. The individuals in the other 2 cells are actually staying in their cells. They're on the bottom tier.
Mhm. Can I pull up feed?
Yeah.
For those 2?
Yeah.
All right. What it just looks like they're sitting there. They're not
So
any
in
extra.
the first cell, you see an elderly individual in a wheelchair who is staring at a television, and as everything opens up, he is very geriatric at this point. Even just turning the chair takes
Time.
a shit ton of effort.
Mm-hmm.
Going over the grid and seeing the name over the cell, you know that to be Adrian Toombs.
Mm.
The other individual
Okay.
isn't as well known or regarded, but he's actually hiding behind a mattress inside his cell.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see a first name. The last name is Beverly. And you have a prison number and a file on him. Would you like to open that file?
Yes.
All right. So you double click on it, and opening the file, the very first thing that pops up is do not bring any machinery near this person's cell at all costs.
Mm.
And then it gives a full description on things that have been experimented on this individual. And going over the reading, apparently this individual can assimilate themselves with machinery. Specifically, they like to tend to do it to anything that involves automobiles, boats, aircraft, any type of transport equipment. Under the aliases, the one that pops up for this one is Overdrive.
Gotta get Toombs his suit. Where's Vulture's
You
suit?
know, everybody's equipment or patient property is in patient holding, which is at the center of the facility.
And I'm guessing, am I pretty close to that?
You'd probably be in between where the current cell block is and over there.
Okay, cool. So I will keep the guys up then, and I will run as a guard to there and figure out what I need to do from there.
Okay.
So I will head that way to get everybody's stuff.
When you get to patient property, it's currently locked up and they don't have anybody over there because all available units are being dispatched basically all over the institution. You do have access.
Yep.
With your
Going
keys.
in.
Everything is on racks and it's all in alphabetical order. And you find a couple of totes that hold the items for Mr. Toombs. You go into Mr. Beverly's stack that basically has a black line suit that's made of some type of rubber-esque material that seems kind of secondhand, like he was attempting to be some type of superpowered individual, but he's obviously not rich. And a motorcycle helmet that's kind of pimped out. Like this is the only thing that really stands out. It has its own HUD system hooked into it. It can plug into all types of electronics, communications. And then you would go to Osborne's. And Osborne has a room dedicated to his own stuff. And you open it up and you see the collider in there. You see the bag of tricks. You see his tech armor. Mr. Connors has basically a cabinet. And
wait, you said the glider's in there?
Yeah.
Oh,
the stuff that he had, he was apprehended. Everything for each individual is locked up.
How much can I carry on said glider?
The glider has been known to carry 2 individuals.
So all their
and
stuff
equipment.
easily.
I
Plus
would
myself.
say for everything they have, if it's strapped on, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And you go to Mr. Connor's cabinet, and there's a lonely jacket.
My lab coat.
Yes. Don't worry. I'll get your lab coat. It's okay.
That's it. He does have a torn up pair of pants in there, a wallet that's kind of chewed up, old. But besides
All
that,
right.
he doesn't really have anything else.
Here's what we're doing. We're strapping everybody's stuff to the glider.
Okay.
I'm going to drop the form, and we're going to fly to the cell block. When I get to the cell block, we're going to smoke it up, and then I'm going to slowly go through the smoke. And
That sounds like a fantastic plan.
And announce myself.
I am going to have you make a roll in order to operate the glider, because
yes, please, let's do this.
Don't know, to my knowledge, anything about Oscorp technology.
Nope, but
So
I'm gonna
you
try.
can certainly attempt it. I will
Here's where it
certainly
goes
let you
sideways.
try.
I'm smart enough.
So I'm also going to say, Norman, you probably put a couple of fail safes on this in case people started tampering with your shit.
Of course, I don't want anyone messing with my stuff.
So
It's expensive. It's mine.
let's see what Quentin can do. So
I
Quentin
ain't
is a
carrying it.
technology expert to a certain degree. So I would say you should at least spend a resolve to
Okay.
add a die. And then I'm going to make this a difficulty 4 to be able to figure out how to operate it.
Okay. So what?
You are
what am I
going
doing?
to roll 6 dice.
Okay.
And you need at least 4 successes.
All right.
Let's see what
1, 2, 3. That looks like 4 to me.
Yahtzee. So I'm assuming you're dragging this thing out into an open area instead of doing it in here.
Obviously.
Okay.
Because I've got to attach everybody else's stuff to it.
So you have like Rubbermaid
right here. Yeah, just hold
strapped on with bungee cords. Okay.
All right.
Onto the wings on this. Okay.
This thing. Well, I'm not going fast. I'm going like
you're in the center
super
and
slow.
you're.
This is
it's like
this is
10 to 2 on a Sunday.
production.
You're like,
This is production. This is production. This is what Quentin does. This is.
If you take your time, I'm not going to make you roll in order to drive it.
Nope. Taking my time.
Let's go
taking
back
my time.
to
Not in a hurry.
Block age. So you make it to the cabinet at the end, and there's a couple of electric batons. There's semi-automatic weapons that have rubber rounds. This is the type of state facility that they can't have lethal munitions.
Well, if you shoot it enough at the right spot, it can be lethal.
This is very true. So basically anything you find in there as far as pepper spray, tasers, mechanical restraints, everything can do everything up until kill unless you put it into a position where it can. So you have access to all of that. There's batons in there. There's riot shields in there.
This is going to be fun. Okay, so I'm going to grab a riot shield just
Okay.
because, and one of the guns with the rubber bullets, and then I'm going to go
Okay.
into the cell with what was the name? Electro,
Electro.
right? Okay, so I don't have a whole lot I can do. I don't want to break Electro yet because they could be useful. So I'm going to try to break the thing on their arm by using toughness, which is 8 dice.
You can go for it.
Okay. All right. Let me see.
Roll it up.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, here we go. And one of them's on the floor. It didn't count anyway. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
So on 4 successes, are you shooting this, or
Nope.
you attempting to?
No, I'm under the goblin serum still, so I have toughness and all that, and I'm thinking maybe I can break it now.
Are you like physically punching or kicking at it, or did you grab something out of the cabinet in order to hit it with it?
That's a good question. I don't think punching or kicking is going to work, so maybe I'm going to grab something blunt force and just kind of, you know.
What are you grabbing?
What do they got? Do they have a hammer? Do they have a shovel?
If I had a hammer.
They have regular batons. They have semi-automatic rifles. They have riot shields. They have pepper spray. They have a distance bolas that you can swing and chuck in order to tie someone up.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is take one of the like regular batons, you know, and I'm gonna kind of like push the shield in front of Electro. Like, this may hurt, so just here, take that. Okay, and I'm gonna like swing and try to hit the thing that's holding Electro's hands in a vice or whatever.
Okay, so he takes it with his mouth since his hands are covered. He's
like, well, the best I can do, you know. I mean,
prop it up in between.
I don't have all my cool stuff yet. Okay,
you do strike it. And the baton just snaps in half. Between the material that this is made out of and the strength that you have from the formula, it just snaps.
Great. Inferior weaponry.
Dr. Connors, you see Norman and Max conversing in Max's cell and the apparati that is currently holding Max.
I don't know if I care all that much about him, though. I seem more hell-bent on freedom. Although he'll turn and look. He's kind of torn.
You are familiar with Max. You have worked in tandem with him as part of the Sinister Six, obviously, in the past. It's not that you're friends or anything, but you have partnered up before.
He'll go stomping back over, and I guess he can look at whatever's holding him.
Okay.
And then maybe he's just going to try to sink his claws in and just see if he can just pull it
Let's
out.
Get some might on that. That sounds quite mighty.
Okay, and back to the character sheet. That is 8. Okay. 3 6s, 3 4s. So that would be 9.
All right. So you do like an old school 80s axe and smash demolition, you know, double axe handle smash. The base of it does snap. However, his hands are not free.
Okay.
So he is able to fully stand up now.
Okay. Well, that's progress.
Is there like cuffs or something, or like a zip tie kind of thing holding him?
Basically, his hands are encased in this type of plastic, non-conductive material that seems to be customized for his cell. So it's kind of like a giant egg-shaped enclosure, and at the base of that, it was attached to something that was custom molded into the floor that kept him grounded.
Let's say, hold still. He's gonna lay down and try to bite through it.
Creative.
And he has 7 dice for his bite. So 2, 3. Only 3 successes. But he's probably going to try to chew at it. So
you bite,
mhm.
and you actually pick him up, and he's like, "Oh, wait a minute!" And you pick him up, and you're shaking him all over the place.
Yep.
No, stop. You'll probably injure him.
And he just throws him down.
Exactly.
And he goes back into the wall, smacks the back of his head. He seems kind of dazed at the moment, and behind you at the lower tier, you hear some type of commotion. What do you want to do?
He's going to turn around and say, Osborne, finish getting him out of here. I'll deal with what's down there.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
He will leap out.
So as
All right.
you go to leap out over the rail, you see an individual that you haven't really worked with, but you know of as Hydro Man, is fighting with at least 6 to 8 corrections officers. Basically, like doing a internal wave pool with them and smacking them off of this wall, smacking them off of this wall, and smacking them off of this wall, and smacking them off of this wall. Are you jumping into the fray or staying on?
Oh
the
yeah,
top
he's jumping into the fray, biting and tearing, and
I need you to make me
whatever he can do.
It's just a tide pool. It's fine.
Make me an agility roll. Because as you're diving into the water, this is to keep you specifically from being swashed up.
All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So you do jump off, and you are pushed on the initial wave, but you do get up to a top area where the bars are coming up to the windows, and you do either grab onto it with a hand, or you can wrap a tail around it.
Yeah, I think he'd wrap his tail around it so he can just like basically hang there with his claws and just ripping and slashing at things. At anything comes near him.
What basically happens is every time he's sloshing them up towards you, you're clawing at them.
Nice.
And the tide pool starts to go from clear to crimson very quickly. And once this starts, you see a face form in the water and a set of lips and eyes that start to speak at you. I'm not here to kill them. I'm here to escape.
Kill them first, then escape.
And as you say that, a aquatic hand in the shape of a fist comes up and goes to swing at you.
Okay, I'm going to try to evade if possible, swinging on using my tail to as a pivot point. Too. Okay, so that's my agility then.
You can use that.
Actually,
you don't have.
I'll use my agility.
So,
yeah, that's better. 5 successes.
He got 6.
Okay.
And he does hit you. It's only for
1 damage.
1 damage.
Okay.
So you are kind of knocked back, but it's not anything concrete impact. It's more hard water impact. So you are kind of dazed, but it's not causing a bruise. You're not cut open or anything. Up top, Norman.
Yep.
You continue to hear that ruckus behind you.
Behind me or below me?
Behind you, below you, because you're still facing in the cell.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to try to get Electro to kind of come back to life, walk over and tap on him. I'm like, okay, come on.
You stand him up, and he's like, I never liked you partnering up with Dr. Connors. He can't keep his temper.
I can't always keep mine either, as you remember.
True, but you're also not tossing me around like a rag doll. Well, I think we can take care of this when we get out of here.
All right. If only there was a quicker way to move without encountering all of that nonsense down there.
He walks out of his cell and he looks over the rail. And he just looks shocked and amazed.
Okay, I'm going to
do?
go see what's freaking him out. I look over the rail.
You look over the rail
Mhm.
and you see aquatic fists swinging up at Dr. Connors in a sea of red that spans a 20 by 20 foot cubicle scale and corpses floating in the water.
And I turn to Electro and I see, well, we have extraction. Let's make use of this.
I don't see how this is going to be very beneficial to us because we have to get downstairs to get out of here.
There's got to be a way.
And as you say that, from the opposite end where the exit actually is, the entrance opens up. Now, back to Quentin. You are coming down this hallway, very slow.
Mhm.
And as you turn the corner, there are two officers that are attempting to escape. And when all the cells opened, certain areas went into lockdown.
Mhm.
So the two guards have been attempting to put their access codes in, but for some reason, they're not working. As you turn the corner, though, it actually starts to open up, and the two of them see you turning the corner with the fucking goblin's glider tied together like National Lampoon's Vacation with shit hanging off of it. So, as you enter, are you in the guard's holographic image or in
No.
the stereo image?
No, full Mysterio.
Okay, so you turn the corner.
Voice emulator on. Hello, fellas. I think I need a little help, and I'm looking right at them.
Okay, so in order to do that, though, you'd have to have your helmet off because you have to visually make eye contact.
All right.
Are
we
you
don't wanna
taking
do
down the
that. We
helmet
don't
or
want
no?
to do that. We don't want to do that.
Okay. What would you like to do?
Oh. Well, let's just throw up another illusion. I don't think that they would like a big old.
Give me an illusion, and I will tell you what to roll.
I don't think that they would like a big old tiger running at them.
Whoa. So, if you are focusing all of your concentration through your tech operation on this single image, you can roll me 12 dice.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make it partial and not as, you can save dice because in your save turn, you can also put out multiple images. So for any extra illusion you want to toss out there, you're going to take away a die because your power falls under basically a smaller version of an omni power. So an omni power encompasses being able to do multiple things either with a mega omni. Say you could do things like the Green Lantern and be able to create certain types of constructs, fly, shields, everything with the power ring. You have a smaller version of that that just focuses on illusions.
So I think we'll just send two, an orange and a white, and just send one after each of them.
Kind of like Siegfried and Roy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So I would like you to roll for me 12 and 11.
12 and 11?
Yes, and I am going to roll their perception if they actually see through this. However, they don't have that many dice. All right. I'm going to say you're probably going to win this, but there's always a chance. Of all ones.
So the 12 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 successes for the 12.
We'll call that orange tiger.
That's
Tigger.
fine. Yeah, Tigger has 9 successes.
Tigger.
That's a wonderful thing about tickers. So,
Tiggers are a wonderful thing.
and we cut it there so Tom doesn't get sued. So,
Exactly. And so 3 more for that.
Sounds like an
So
ice
that's
bucket.
It
2,
does.
4,
It's a lot of dice.
That's what it sounds
5,
like.
6, 7, 8. That would
Like on the
be 8.
refrigerator.
That would be 8
So
for old white.
the white tiger that Siegfried and Royd had was named Manticore. So let's call that one Manticore.
There we
Tigger
go.
and Manticore.
I'm
Mm.
down
So you
with
currently
that.
have these two tigers active. They didn't even roll close. So they turn and they run back towards the center area of the cell block. However, they can't run too far because half of the cell block at the base is covered in red liquid that keeps
Yes.
sloshing back and forth.
Yes.
You turn the corner, enter the cell behind the two tigers, and you see this whole instance going on.
Yeah. Like I said, as soon as I enter, because I took care of the little guys, I don't care about the little guys. I'm throwing my smoke up and just going through the door above the water, and just going to float up out of the fog and just make my announcement through a microphoned
Oh yeah.
Voice through my suit and my
All the
helmet.
bells and whistles.
Yeah. Welcome to Chaos and Your Freedom, presented by Mysterio. Please, I have a few that I would like to join me on my way out. As for everybody else, you guys can do what you would like. As you can see, Mr. Osborne, I have a couple presents for you.
Oh, yes.
Norman.
I've been waiting for those.
You see
Mm-hmm.
Mysterio on your glider.
Mine.
Thank you for letting me borrow them. It's quite nice.
You also
Does
see
work
it's
well.
tied up like National Lampoon's Vacation. You don't know
And what
the hell is
other
going on.
goodies have you brought for us?
Oh, I've got just a couple more people that we need to take with us. So I'll get this and start recruiting them if you would like to suit up yourself.
That would be great.
And so I land right next to him and I start
Mhm.
taking everything off except for everything that's his.
Right, yeah. That small button there on the front. Don't touch it. Bad things will
I kind of
happen.
figured. I don't
Mhm.
I don't randomly go around touching buttons, dear Norman.
Yes.
Yes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take Adrian Toombs stuff and get that down to him so he can just have a little bit more power.
So you hovered down in front of his cell, and he's basically perched up on the arms of his wheelchair, and he's fidgeting the entire time.
Adrian. It seems like your wings got clipped.
What are
Would
you
you-
doing here, Quentin?
Would you like them back?
How were you able to accomplish all of this?
Oh,
Quentin.
that will be told later. Right now, would you like to leave?
Yes, I would. However, I would like you to get me one of the guards.
I think I can handle that. And I beckon one of my tigers to chase one over here.
The tigers are basically having them cornered, and one of them scares the crap out of him enough to turn and head towards the cells. So now he's basically in the front of the cell, and he turns and he goes, "Hey, man, I don't want any trouble. I know how things like this have gone in the past. We don't have to have it go down like this. You're free to go. I don't have any weapons."
Oh, well, my friend Adrian needs you for something, so I'm going to let him just explain what he needs while I help him
Adrian.
with his suit.
And he goes to turn, and Toombs puts a hand on his shoulder, and you can physically see in a matter of moments the guard's eyes roll into the back of his head. He, like, physically seems internally in pain. He drops down to a knee, to a second knee, and as he hunches over, he physically starts to grow older. And whiskers start to come out of his face. The nice black comb over he had starts to go white. And then the form of a horseshoe it's almost receding hair in a matter of moments. And as he goes down, the hand on the shoulder goes from being completely wrinkled up to regaining youth. And it gains a little strength, and he squeezes the shoulder as it goes down. And the individual that stands up, it looks like Adrian, but he's much younger. And the elderly individual you saw before, he has dark red hair that encompasses the top of his head, a full beard, and he's physically in shape. It's almost like he's in his mid-20s. And the state uniform he had on him, it was much more tighter for a frail individual. This is extremely tight on him for a fit, youthful individual. And he stands up and he goes, if I'm walking out of here, I'm walking out of here on my 2 feet. Now let me get my wings.
No, yes. And opens the tote and shoves it his way.
And he goes in, he starts to put on his suit, and he puts on his harness. Dr. Connors, I would like for you to make me another agility roll, because there's another giant aqua fist that is swinging up at you.
That's the new brand of water at Aquafest.
Aqua fist. For the makers of Aqueduct, yes.
Only 3 successes.
Only 3 successes. Let's get that. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a 5. So he does hit you, and it will take an additional 2 off of you. You go smacking into the bars. Make me a second agility roll.
Yeah, because he would like to release his tail and try to get the heck out of the way.
What I was going to ask you, if you're still hanging on or going in.
Yeah. He's gonna after he takes the hit, he's gonna let go and try to get out of there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You dive in. Currently, there are at least 8 corpses floating around. As you go to dive in, you see a humanoid shape that's in the water that is made out of the water. It turns and it faces you, and it goes to extremely speedily swim at you. So you have a couple of options here. You have enough strength in you and the ability to touch the ground. You can push yourself up out of the water and try to get up to the top rail again. You can jump back up to the bars of the window, or off to your left, you can attempt to get completely out of the water.
He is going to get completely out of the water.
Are you diving up or going left?
Going left.
Okay. So let's make a agility to simulate swimming.
Okay. He actually has dice for swimming.
Oh, he does?
Yep.
I didn't even check that.
No, he does not. No.
Liar.
Liar. I know.
I take your turn, sir.
I know.
let's go for agility. That's probably the
Okay.
closest thing you have.
Just 3 successes.
All right. That's all you need. You are able to swim out of it in time. When he goes to pull out, you see a humanoid form attempt to reach out. However, his concentration is expanded over half of the cell. He can only get X amount before he has to draw himself back in again. You can see, though, the mass of the water is starting to take shape now. And all of you need to make me an agility roll because
Oh, boy.
the corpses are flying out of the water as projectiles.
Okay.
Everybody make me an agility.
8 dice.
Who knew corpses would be used as weaponry?
2.
3
Only a restless
successes.
barbarian gaming here, folks.
Got it.
Three successes for
Okay.
Mr. Beck.
I've got 5 successes.
What do you got? Taktakana's?
3.
Perfect. That's all anybody needed. So you are able to dodge around. Unfortunately, Max is still on that top tier. Max gets hit
Oh.
by one of them. When he gets hit, he goes over the side rail and he actually falls into the water. When he falls into it, you see a huge yellow electrical current completely overtake the crimson liquid. And in a matter of minutes, it all starts to dissipate. Max is out cold. You see the form of a curly-haired, muscle-bound, red-haired individual that starts to form up again until he resembles a full human out cold. So it seems as if Electro shorted out Hydro Man.
Well, gentlemen, I think that's our cue.
That's what I was hoping it would happen. Yes.
I finished suiting up on everything.
Dr. Connors, would you like your coat?
He just waves it at you. Covet it all.
Mysterio is going to float with the last set of equipment to Overdrive.
So you head to Overdrive Cell, and the same as on the camera, he's hiding behind a mattress. He didn't want anything to do with the fray. And he pokes out a head, and you see a rather skinny, youthful individual. He's probably maybe between 18 to 21. And he's like, "Who are you?"
Young man, you can't tell me you have not heard of the great Mysterio.
"Oh, you're the guy on the news that Spider-Man keeps beating over and over." "I think I've seen you before."
Yes. Would you like to join me?
And he pulls himself out from behind the mattress and he goes to step out. And he sees everybody else standing there and he just kind of pauses and he holds on to the entrance and he's like, "Look, I don't want any trouble."
Oh, no trouble. Here you go. Flop opens up the tote.
And he looks and he sees all of his stuff and he's like, "Is this for real?"
I know I'm usually messing with people with illusions, but this is 100% real, and our distraction has kind of knocked itself out, so we've got to go.
So he takes a moment and then he reaches in and he puts on his jumpsuit. And it kind of resembles like a makeshift NASCAR jumpsuit, but it doesn't have any sponsors. It has, like I said, a second class form of like rubber he's formulated for like the elbows, the shoulders, along the spine, the knee pads to take some type of impact. And he pulls on his gloves and he carries his helmet. And he goes, "Okay, when we get out of here, I guess I owe you one."
Oh, my boy, I'm just a man for hire.
"Okay, well, you can call me James." And he goes to extend a hand. He seems very nervous.
James, we will do formal meetings when we have more time.
Oh, okay. He is
So-
not accustomed to any of this at all.
Right.
And
That's perfectly
Welcome to
fine.
the chaos crew, kid. This is going to be fun.
and by this point, Toombs has all of his stuff on, and you see him in the background basically extend out his arms, and his wingspan is at least 15 feet. And he seems to be stretching like it's been a while. And he goes, I think it's time to go, folks. We don't want to overstay our welcome.
Right.
Norman, good to see you again.
This is going to be fun.
Kurt,
Let's go.
it's never a pleasure.
All right, Mysterio, give me. You don't know how to
You've
fly
already-
this thing very well.
You've already got no. I dropped
you
it
dropped
off
it off?
towards you.
Okay.
I'm
Got it.
using my own stuff to fly now.
Ah, very good.
Yeah, so Mysterio, with his tech suit, can easily hover. And he has, you can describe it however you want, Ray, but there's different versions of him that have an actual jetpack. There's versions of him that have jets in his boots.
It's just it's the boot jets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you're basically hovering, and there's
nothing
tons
big
of
and
smoke.
bulky. Nothing big and bulky.
Yeah.
Just slender.
Okay.
So. Yep.
So you're all heading out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
Quentin, you actually have 4 plans of a specific path to take out of here.
Mhm.
When you exit and you head out to the right, you are in an open courtyard that you have to cross over in order to get over to the pier where you can get out to the Hudson.
Mhm.
When you get to the open courtyard, it's basically shaped like 5 to 6 football fields in circumference of an octagon, and it's about 3 to 4 stories tall, and it's meant for the low and mid incarcerated individuals.
Is the top open?
The top is open. However, you specifically know that even though the top is open, there are all sorts of parapets on top. There's at least 6 to 8 guard towers. So flying out of here is going to be extremely difficult. And the plan that you were given goes straight across the courtyard.
Okay, then we'll just follow the plan.
You can do it however you want.
No, if yeah, no, he's smart enough to go. We'll just go with the plan.
You all enter the open courtyard area, and even though Quentin knows all of this, you see Adrian, who is more than happy to take flight. What do you want to do?
Adrian, I'd recommend following me.
I thought you wanted to escape.
There is a plan set. I just needed a distraction to get you out.
You suddenly became a criminal mastermind?
I look
Who
up
set
and
up
try to
this
see what's around
plan?
me when this happens.
I told you I will let you guys know when we're completely out. Right now, I'd rather not be overtaken by guards.
And he looks up and he sees the guard towers and the extra measures, and he looks back at you kind of warily. And he's like, when we get out of here, we're going to have a conversation. Because I know at times you've tried to take over this group of individuals before. We're going to see who ends up on top outside of these walls. But for now, I'll follow you.
Absolutely, my dear Adrian. And he just keeps walking.
And you guys get about halfway across before a dozen guards head out and are heading towards all of you. So we're going to do some edge initiative orders.
Okay.
Let's see. top of the order would automatically be Norman,
Mm-hmm.
followed by Kurt, Mysterio, Adrian, and then Overdrive. So, Norman, you're up.
Okay. All right. So if I've got all my stuff back,
You have all your stuff. You
All
have
my
your
stuff
bag
back.
of tricks. You have your gauntlets. You
Okay.
have your glider.
all right.
Armor.
So I'm
all
gonna
the good
go up above the guards a little bit, like not directly on top of them, but like take the high ground a little bit, but not far enough to get hit by whatever those things are up there. And I'm gonna throw a glitter bomb at them that is incredibly sticky.
Ooh. So
It's 4
okay.
dice, I think.
So your bag of tricks falls under an omni power.
Oh, okay.
So you have that at 12 dice.
Okay, I can do that.
So
I have
roll
10
your-
dice. I'm gonna have to re-roll a couple of them.
That's fine.
All right. Let's see what chaos I have made. All right. I've got 1, 2, 3, 2 6s, and a 4. So that's
That is 5
9?
successes.
5 successes. Okay.
Yes. 2 6s and a 4.
2 6s, a 4, and a 2, and 2
Oh.
2s and a 4. So 2 4s, 2 2s, 2 6s. I'm not sure what that comes
8.
out to.
8, yeah.
Cool.
8 successes. So at the 6, you are able to toss this at. Only one is able to dive and jump out of the way. Would you like to describe what actually comes out of this explosion?
Yeah. Okay. So it's like a pumpkin shaped bomb because those are handy. You can get more at any store during the fall. It's great.
Any spirit of Halloween?
Pretty much.
Home
Yeah.
Depot.
Okay. Right. And when I throw it, it starts to open up a little bit, and on impact, this I don't know, like really sticky, clear goo comes out with as many as many glitter type shapes as you can imagine. Some of them are probably pumpkin shaped for fun, and it will stick to anything it touches and make it very hard for whoever's got that adheres to them or on them, that stickiness, to like move well. If they block their face with it, well, now their hands are full of it, that kind of thing.
So when the cloud of glitter
go
dissipates,
uh-huh.
you all see at least 5 of these individuals struggling against this sticky, icky, pick a color goo,
Mm-hmm.
almost stuck in place. Like you can see them struggling, and there's a couple of them that don't catch on automatically, and they try to pull it off themselves, and my hand is stuck here, and then they go to reach for a weapon on their holster, and their hand is stuck to the holster, so it's I'm a little teacup action. And there's a couple that are stuck with their back to the ground. There's 2 of them that are actually stuck together because they saw the stuff coming, went to go run, ended up running into each other, and then one actually happened to make it
out of the
way.
All right.
Dr. Connors, you're up.
I don't want to touch any of the sticky guys. Would I be able to?
There's at least 6 others, so have fun.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask. Is there's like a
You got a
whole
dozen.
group of them? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then basically, I guess group 2, he is going to leap into them, see if he can. I guess they're frowning upon the rending of flesh.
Okay.
I don't care.
He's going to see if he can just like lash out with his tail. And see
Would you consider this an all-out attack or a charge?
This is like an all-out attack.
So add 2 dice
Okay.
to your roll.
Okay.
You're going to go half on your defenses for this round.
Okay. All right. So I'm adding 2 dice to his tail attack.
That would bring it up to 9.
Yeah, 9. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Ooh, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's see. Easy stats. Easy stats. So 3 of them go completely flying. One of the 3 goes flying into the goo and gets stuck to the other 2 who are
That's what I was
already
hoping.
stuck together as it is. So all you hear is, and he's reaching out because he's stuck to the other 2 on his back, and he's like, "No, please, no, I have kids. God, no, I was supposed to be off today." And
Stick around.
we're gonna go to Quentin.
Which way are the non-stuck ones to the stuck ones?
To your
Or
left.
is it okay? So on the side that would chase them towards the sticky people, Mysterio will look up and be like, "I'd like you to meet a friend of mine. He did some really great work in Jurassic World. His name is Terry, and an image of
So,
a T-Rex is going to
you have
come
an option.
over the wall."
You have an option. You still had those 2 tigers active, and this is considered the next page. You can still have those 2 active, and if you want to activate Terry, it'll fall under your Omni power. So you can activate him at 10 dice, or you can dissipate those other 2 and turn
Nah,
Terry into
I
a
don't.
full 12.
I don't need the tigers. I want the T-Rex coming over.
Okay, so when all of you enter the courtyard, Tigger and Manticore just seemingly wisp away into smoke. And then out of nowhere, you see
Terry.
the giant T-Rex that made any kind of liquid in a cup, in this case, a thermos at work, pulse with the...
Oh, cool.
Dr.
coming
Connors
from-
is just looking up in admiration.
And coming from the other side of the courtyard is at least a 25-foot tall, but dark tan and black striped T-Rex. If anybody could remember in game from the movie Jurassic Park, it's literally that same T-Rex.
Mm-hmm.
And to save time, since they're not going to have that high of a perception, we're going to say they all fall for it, since half of them are panicked anyway, so you don't even have to roll. What do you plan on doing with said T-Rex?
Looming over them.
So I can roll for them to shit themselves.
Oh, no.
We've had this
Again.
happen earlier.
We had this happen earlier.
Again.
One of them is Chuck. No.
Excellent.
Surprisingly,
He left his job at
Two of
Doyle
them.
Rig and
No.
2 of them turn and run for an exit. The other 4 actually pull weapons and start to fire up at it. However, it's an illusion. So anything that's fired at it seems to be going right through. But at this point, they're not paying attention to that. They're fearing for their lives. So 2 chose flight, 4 chose to fight.
Nice.
Mr. Toombs is up. So he spreads his wings and he does take off at a low level. And for the 2 that are attempting to escape, he actually chases after them. And he goes to swoop in on them. And as part of his suit, when it retracts, there are 2 sets of mechanical extenders that come down his legs and form talons that come just under his feet for him to actually put his feet into as slots. So as he's looming over them, he's able to scoop up one, brings him up into the air about 15 or 20 feet, and just releases him. Falls to the ground, thud. James is staring at the T-Rex. He doesn't know what to do with the T-Rex. He's holding his helmet. He's just chilling. So the other 4 that are currently shooting, their concentration is on the T-Rex. So they are continuing to shoot. Top of the order, Norman.
Okay, so have I noticed, while they're all distracted, have I noticed any like turrets or anything that seem like they might be loaded at the top?
You do hear commotion up there. You don't
Okay.
hear anything mechanical.
All right.
Your assumption earlier was correct that you haven't gone high enough up
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in order to, if anything is automated, to
Mhm.
activate it.
Okay.
And make me an intelligence roll.
Okay. Intelligence roll. It's
I
6.
might be able to tell you something.
I have 2 2s, and that's all this time.
That's all you need. That's 4. Oh no, that's
Okay.
2. But this is basic common sense info.
Okay.
You're pretty sure that the prison is on full escape right now.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look up, you do see automated stuff. You don't see any physical people up there.
Interesting.
So you're assuming common sense would kick in.
Mm.
They're dealing with other issues currently going on.
Okay.
And not everybody is focused on the center courtyard.
All right. I want to make the turrets shoot each other.
So you do have, okay. So
I get my phone out. I start tapping at the Oscorp stuff. And like,
you do have, it's not even a phone. It's kind of
not even a
like
phone.
the equivalent to a super phone,
Oh, okay.
if you will. It's built into
The
the
suit.
bottom of your gauntlet.
Okay.
And
Yeah. So
you're
I'm doing
able
that.
to hack into other tech.
Mhm. Yeah.
Let's roll. Let's see.
Mhm.
You have machine control
Uh-huh.
at
4 dice.
4 dice.
Okay.
Remember, you can also spend resolve to add a die
Yeah. Let's do that.
if you want.
Yeah.
So
Let's spend a resolve. So,
roll me 5 dice.
5 dice. Okay.
Yeah.
So take down the resolve before I forget the number. Okay. 5 dice. I've got. Let's see. 1, 2. That's not it. Oh, okay. I have 2 6s, a 4, and a 2.
You start punching into your wrist.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
as you look at each turret continuing to hack in, one lights up and another lights up.
Oh.
And everybody starts to see each turret starts to light up.
Don't worry, boys. I've got this.
And you currently have control of every top turret.
Okay,
There's
so
at least
I'm assuming there's how many?
8.
8. Okay, so I'm gonna have the ones across from each other shoot each other.
Okay. You don't even have to roll for that. They home in on each other. Brrr. All of you start hearing explosions up over your heads.
Uh-huh.
James attempts to go under the nearest bench or some type of cover, and he's just covering up.
James, you're safe. I'm controlling them.
Adrian lands, and anything that's going to fall from up top,
Right.
he raises up his wings in order to protect himself.
Mm.
For Mysterio and Lizard, please make me agility rolls to make sure that nothing falls on you. From the fun and chaos.
10 successes.
Ooh!
Wow.
You are like sailing around on tippy toes of clawed feet. Nothing is touching you. It's like,
Yeah,
Well,
that
they're
would be
so it could fall on you, but
1 success.
oh no.
Let's go to the videotape. I get to use the GM screen for stuff that's falling.
Excellent.
So let's go from okay. Okay.
Agility is not Quentin's strong
It's not.
suit.
It's not. Let's see. You are going to get hit by a big chunk of concrete. You're going to go down to 2 health.
Okay.
Everybody sees a portion of a section that was under a turret after the explosion. It comes down it literally appears to land on top of Quentin.
Oops. Collateral damage, I suppose.
Ooh.
The doctor will jump down and attempt to lift it off him. He did rescue us after all.
He did.
I don't care.
Or when it's my turn, if I can do that.
Right,
So,
yeah.
So I'm going to say at this point, combat is basically over.
okay.
Between the other 4 that are currently distracted by a giant T-Rex and everybody else is incapacitated.
Mm-hmm.
You do have time to pause. So you don't even have to roll because of your might. Dr. Connors, you come over to this huge chunk of concrete and you pick up. Quentin, you're pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Your helmet,
He lays
your helmet's
there.
still intact, but there's a bunch of cascading spiderweb cracks on it. It is still active. You are still able to work stuff off of it. But you are hurting.
All right, they
Did
get
you
up.
claw down to help him up?
Yeah, he takes they take the help. Thank you.
Let's go.
That is the plan. Let's see if this thing still flies. Thank you, Norman.
You go to operate the flight on it.
I'm gonna try it.
You go to operate it, and it's sputtering. You are hovering, but it is very stressed and very uneven at this
We're talking about the glider?
No.
No,
Okay.
my suit.
Oh, okay. Got
Mysterio's
it.
boots.
I'll just run at
He
this
took
point.
a pretty hard impact.
I'll just
Wasn't
run
my
at this
plan.
point.
You just happen to be in the way.
Yes, obviously. It's all my fault.
I
All
didn't say
right.
that.
Running and taking the exits that was previously. Wave at Terry on the way out.
Running.
As you see him.
Right.
Goodbye, Terry. Great acting.
Where's the
You-
kid?
The kid,
James, it's not real.
he keeps peering up at Terry, but he gets his helmet and he's beating feet.
All right.
He's getting the hell out of there.
I'm just going to glide my way out.
You head to the exit that is at the loading dock. It is empty. There are several trucks over there. A couple of flatbed trucks over there for the shipping containers that have transported countless individuals here. And then you have an exit that actually leads out to the river. Once you get to the loading dock, Overdrive's eyes light up like it's Christmas. And he heads to one of the flatbed trucks and he puts on his helmet. And as soon as he touches it, the back portion of the flatbed seems to fold up into itself. And it's like a kid playing with Play-Doh at this point, as you see all the parts on it start to move around and amalgamate into a heavy-duty tanker that has been heavily reinforced, almost military grade style. And he just seems to morph into it into the driver's seat, and he turns and he goes, "Time to go."
You're a real life transformer, aren't you?
Slither in wherever he can fit.
I'm gonna put the glider in the back if I can, and just stay there with all my stuff, all my little toys.
You have space enough to get all your stuff in.
All right.
Everybody piles in, unless there's anything anybody wants to do before getting in.
Curl up my tail to make more space. So.
I'm assuming that I'll probably need to be up front to tell him where to go.
That would probably help.
Yeah. So
you ride shotgun.
Yep, and I just
you take it off, and everybody else sees your face is all bruised up. you definitely have some type of mild concussion. There's blood
What do you need?
that's coming down the side of your face.
Yes.
You took a pretty heavy hit.
His face is their face. Their face is very just androgynous. You can't. It's hard to tell. They just they try to keep it as clean as they can, clean hair or whatever the part calls for. But it's no real distinct. No facial hair, very clean, and just looks down and starts. I gotta fix this again. All right, boy. Just follow my directions.
And as you say that, he pushes something on the side of his helmet. You can hear like the side panels slowly morph out into the speakers, and it's almost like dubstep Baby Driver here as he peels out of the fucking loading dock in highway to the danger zone, and and fucking wheels are smoking. He hasn't gotten to drive in years, and he is in heaven right now.
Oh, this will be fun.
Peels out. He takes off onto the main road. As he does, when you turn the corner, there's a blockade over there. So, if anybody's going to do anything right now, you all have one turn.
What does the blockade look like?
So, first off, James isn't stopping.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm down with
So
that.
he's going to continue heading on it, and he's gaining speed. The blockade is 2 flatbeds, 2 jeeps, a couple of wooden barricades, and then road spikes.
Okay.
And several individuals standing behind the vehicles with firearms. You're guessing at this point. I'm not even kind of make a roll for this. These are not rubber rounds. You're outside of the facility.
Okay.
Easy.
What can I do here? If I have a window near me, I'm going to throw an explosive bomb at somewhere in the middle or something. Just
What
lob
is
it
your
over.
intent?
The intent is to take out the guards before they take out us.
Oh, of course.
Mhm.
I'm just getting everybody's intent before this
Sure.
turn pops off.
My intent is to look at James and go, do we need to do anything, or does this even phase you? You're not even slowing down.
Easy.
Kurt,
He's staying in the truck. I mean, there's not really a whole lot he can do unless he gets out and starts shredding. He's actually better just staying inside.
So Adrian at this point is kind of trying to find an shit handle on top as he sees everybody, and Quentin attempts to speak to James. James is just in the zone.
Right.
And
Exactly
he's
where
right
I thought
at
he
him.
was.
He's not even slowing down. When Norman chucks a bomb out the window, let's do an agility to toss a bomb.
Okay, that's 8 dice.
Did you find her thing?
5, 7, 8. Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 5 successes.
Perfect. You hit it right in the center of it. What kind of bomb is it?
It's an explosive.
Okay.
Shrapnel.
You hit it, and it's head on. And as you tossed it, you all felt something happen under the vehicle. And if anybody looks out a window, instead of wheels now, you have tracks. And even if the thing wasn't tossed, James didn't have any intention of slowing down.
I figured.
So you cleared a perfect hole.
Stereos just click.
If anybody wants to put on a belt, You're more than welcome. And
Remember,
he flies
kids, wear
right
your
through.
safety belts, even as a villain.
Drive safe. So
Well, it's safer now. There's less guards to shoot at us.
explosion happens.
Mhm.
James actually clips one of the jeeps as it goes spinning off to the side, and you all get away.
All right.
So you continue to head out, and Quentin gives directions to James to get back to his headquarters, which unfortunately happens to be on Staten Island. So
Oh no!
Hmm.
Quentin's logic in this is nothing happens on Staten Island. It's an island that's known for hauling garbage. So who is going to go out to Staten Island to look for supervillains? Nobody. Of course not. There just happens to be an abandoned movie studio that's out over there. So after at least 2.5 hours of traffic, because once you hit mainstream traffic, all of you feel the outside of the vehicle change over again.
Mm,
And it moves into like a U-Haul.
that'll do.
Indiscriminate. With people who are large enough who have to be in the back are automatically shifted
Okay.
over there. People who have to sit in the front, sit in the front. But you are hidden from any specific individuals who are attempting to track a large ATV land roving vehicle that magically disappeared.
Mm.
So you head to Staten Island, which again is a pain in the ass. You have to go through several boroughs just to get to it from Westchester specifically, but you head out there, and in a suburb area, in a warehouse, you pull in, a door shuts, all the interior lights are off until Quentin, with a flick of his wrist, turns everything on. What do they see on the inside, Quentin?
I mean, first off, just the whole, like, as much movie memorabilia as you can think of, you probably see. Um, just movies that he's done, movies that they've done, movies that they've liked, anything like that. Um, the main part of it, the big center HQ, is where the setup for their computer, the suit, everything there. That is the biggest tribute to them that you have ever seen. Like every award, everything that he thinks he should, or that they think they should be crowned in, just everything in that little space, and just everything that they need at their fingertips for uh, movies, memorabilia, anything. They are so interested in movies. You would think that they live in a movie.
Would it be fair to say also there's probably a giant bulletin board that is covered in thumbtacks and red string and newspaper articles of certain events that you performed at or attempted to have robberies at, or this, that, and the other thing? And
That all lead back
where-
to Spider-Man. Yeah, of course.
yeah. So that section would definitely stand out. Of course.
Yeah, that's the targeting area. The
That's
dummies,
the targeting area.
the dummies, the dummies are all Spider-Man.
Oh
They're
man,
just all all shapes and sizes.
that is just pure unadulterated hatred.
Yeah.
Very nice. So you all enter the garage. When you all exit the vehicle, when James exits it, the vehicle reverts to the flatbed heavy duty truck.
Okay. So I'm maneuvering the glider off of it, and
That's a nifty
I'm to
trick,
bring it in, then
my
I'm bringing
boy.
it in.
And Quentin just starts limping up, I'm guessing, to his main hub, because I'm assuming that's where the person wants to meet everybody.
So let's just say off to the side where Quentin is heading off to, it's kind of like on a second tier story that's suspended by cables.
Yes.
And there's a conference table up there, and at said table, there is a monitor. And something that you did not take into consideration, Quentin, there's actually an individual sitting in a chair next to the monitor.
You were just sitting here in the dark.
And the gentleman stands up and has greasy, slick back, black hair, like a typical G-man suit, like straight out of the Men in Black.
Mm-hmm.
Black tie, white shirt, black suit, black
Is he a reptile person?
He is not a reptile person. We're not in that adventure, goddammit. He takes off the sunglasses and he tucks them into the front pocket. He simply holds up a finger and he waits for everyone else to get upstairs, and he motions to the other chairs as he turns on the monitor. When he does, he puts his hands in his pockets and the monitor comes on, and to some of you who've already interacted with this person, you see the shadowed female silhouette again.
You again.
Who's this?
Quentin would know this person as a power broker.
Mm-hmm.
So they turn specifically to Quentin and say, "Congratulations, you succeeded in your task."
Of course.
You look a little banged up.
Minor complication.
And I see everybody else is out, safe and sound.
There.
Yes.
Hey.
I've been looking for you, power broker.
Yes, we'll get to that in due time, Dr. Connors. But there's something a little more pressing at hand. Allow me to introduce Mr. Wisdom. And the gentleman standing there simply nods, and they continue to speak. Mr. Wisdom is the head of MI-13 and the liaison to the Secret Service in the United States. He is in charge of superpowered individuals in the United Kingdom. You've all been brought here specifically because whether you believe anything I say past this point or not, you are the only ones that can save Earth.
Us?
Oh, the options.
What about those cape-wearing fools?
So, a couple of things have happened since a lot of you have been incarcerated. Everybody, please have a seat, and I will give a really short history lesson.
Go ahead.
He'll try to sit. He has to like tuck his tail kind of like behind him. So
Adrian sits and
Grunts and
James.
groans.
So, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Ostarks project, and
Oh, I'm aware of that.
well,
What happened to it?
it seems that the AI that ran the Ostarks got a little too smart. You see, when it was originally designed, it was incorporated by three individuals.
Mm-hmm.
One, Anthony Stark. One,
Right, Tony.
Lawrence Trask. And one, Norman Osborn.
Yes.
When Norman had a conflict of interest with how things for going into construction and the purpose of said drones. There was an altercation, and
You could call it that.
the screen that she is in
Mhm.
splits off, and one half of the screen shows news footage of basically the Green Goblins circling
Mhm.
Stark Tower, chucking explosives at it as Iron Man is chasing after, and this whole weave
Mhm. We know each other
envelops
too
him.
well.
And
Tony
then
is hard to get along with.
it
Sometimes.
shrinks off again. And then that left two individuals. For people not familiar with the name Lawrence Trask, his father was more famously known in the 60s and 70s as Boulevard Trask. And at that time, they had a government experiment known as the Sentinel Project. Unfortunately, this did not come to fruition because of certain individuals that stepped in. However, his legacy lived on through Lawrence, and unbeknownst to Tony, when said AI was installed, part of that was part of a Sentinel protocol. So you are not the only ones that have been round up and incarcerated at this time. Other supers, be them supervillains, superheroes, vigilantes, anti-heroes, petty crime in the past 6 months has started to take a turn for the better to popular opinion. However, at the same time, the Avengers and a majority of Earth's mightiest heroes have left Earth seemingly to handle something off our world that seems to be more encompassing. And they thought the drones that were supposed to protect us are going to keep us safe. That's why all of you have been early paroled, we could say.
Yeah.
Apparently, through research and development, the amount of medication and types and the combinations given to specifically U4 seem to counteract the effects of one individual that has been captured by said drones and his abilities assimilated. And the screen splits off again, and the other half of the screen has a picture of an individual in a suit with purple skin. And the power broker introduces this person as the Purple Man. So they go into detail about the Purple Man's abilities, which is manipulation and being able to control others simply by not only his appearance, but by his voice automatically. Extremely dangerous individual. However, because he was apprehended by automatons, they were not affected. So his powers were seemingly useless against them. However, when he was assimilated, they gained those abilities. And it started to spread like a virus over the entire Earth. So in a span of 6 months, they have now turned into not only the world protectors, but the world's tyrants with the mindset that they have to control, incarcerate, and or eradicate all superpowered individuals.
Well,
It
that
seems
was a failure.
you are all immune to said effects, excluding Mr. Beck, since he did not partake in said therapy. However, in our research also with his encased in environmental system and his abilities, let's call them, to drop other people's perceptions, he's probably at a very low chance to be manipulated. Hence, all of you were calculated in a plan to be sprung.
Now, Stark didn't make them intelligent.
Oh, no, he did.
Problem. He did. I figured he would. That was part of what we got in a fight over. You can't make them intelligent or they're going to do their own things. And well, here we are. They're doing their own things, but now manipulated by someone else.
Well, Mr. Osborne, that's part of the reason that you're here also, because you understand a lot of the tech
I do.
that
Helped
went
build
into
it.
for the construction.
Mm-hmm.
So our goal is to travel with Mr. Wisdom through a portal to be able to get to a specific place that's going to get us an item that's going to give us an opportunity to reset all of these events. And on the table that everyone is sitting at, a grid pops up and it shows the outline of a building that has a very large window that has a specific symbol in it. Everybody make me a intelligence roll.
Okay. I've got 3 successes.
What's everybody else got?
4 successes.
What you got, Quentin?
I also have 4.
For the ones that got 4 successes, you would know that as the symbol that's on the home of Doctor Strange, the Sanctum Sanctorum symbol. But in the background, in the holographic image, there is a outline of a Ferris wheel, a very large bridge, and a clock tower that is clearly Big Ben. So this seems to be one of the 3 Sanctum Sanctorums that cover the Earth. This one being in London.
So we're going to London.
You are. And here you shall meet the current Sorcerer Supreme, since Doctor Strange is off of Earth, Wong. Hopefully, you'll be able to retrieve the Time Stone off of him.
Will Madison be there as well?
I think I can ironically say time will tell. However, our plan is if you are able to either convince and or accumulate said stone, we should be able to use it with Mr. Wisdom's occult knowledge to bring all of you back in time to before any of this was constructed in order to stop those events from happening.
Will my gear still work?
I don't see why not. Now, the question I have for all of you, since I know all of this seems completely left field for anybody in our positions, are you up for saving the world? Because if you're not, then you're not going to have a world to thrive in or eventually take over or, continue to be rich as motions over to Norman.
Some of that, yes.
Or be famous and motions over to Quentin, or mold into your own and motions over to Dr. Connors, or attempt to find eternal youth and motions over to Adrian.
I think I shall take great delight in destroying what Tony and I started.
What is the boy looking for? We all know what we are looking for. Obviously, I need an audience.
James is just sitting there and he has his helmet on the table. The power broker speaks up and goes, James always wanted to be a hero. That's why I initially gave him his powers. He made a deal, and then the deal went south, and he started to get greedy. So this is James's chance of redemption to actually become a hero.
Hard life, a hero boy. Very
And
hard life.
James, for the first time, speaks up and he goes, I have a name. You can stop calling me boy.
Agreed. I am sorry, James.
A little bit of a
Hard-
backbone in him.
Hard life, a hero.
The power broker would turn to Dr. Connors. What say you?
So this device, it affects time?
It does. And I know you and I had a discussion about this specific item before you became incarcerated.
Sounds like there's an opportunity to perhaps change things.
Well, after the world is saved and I conduct the contract that I was obligated to by wrapping all of you up, if everything is successful, you're more than welcome to continue with all of your lives.
So you say the contract that you were given.
Yes.
So who pulls your strings?
We all have somebody up top, Dr. Connors.
I guess I would like a little more assurances of who's on top.
Well, you were all paroled, and you all have an option of turning and clearly walking out of here, but I think you would all be more successful working together. However, I can't give that info at this very moment.
Very well. For now, I'll work with you.
Very well. And she turns to Adrian, and he sits there and he ponders. He goes, this is true. I do want to continue to live on. However, I don't see how this benefits me beyond that. And she goes, well, the radiation that currently traps you inside the corpse you call a body. Perhaps you and I can come to some type of agreement to alleviate that if you are successful. And as he looks at his hands, and he does start to see them crack and become dry. He knows that the current effect he's had by draining age out of the guard is going to start to wear off. Very well. You and I will have a conversation after. And the power broker goes, excellent. And she nods and says, wait for further instructions. The screen goes off. Mr. Wisdom stands up and he says, well, no better time like the present. And reaches under the jacket, undoes a couple of buttons,
Tensing.
pulls out some type of amulet relic that looks like a skull, and holds it out in front of him, and starts to mumble something under his breath, and then
Are we
circles
being
it about.
blessed or cursed? I wonder.
And as he does this, a portal starts to spark and open up in a
Oh.
circle.
It's a key.
And he stops and he motions to it. And that's where we're going to end the session for this. I would like to thank my players, and I hope they had a fantastic time.
That was fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it was great.
equally love superhero games as much as I love The World of Darkness. So
Yeah.
I'm going to give them the floor to introduce anything they want to as far as current projects, anything they want to bring up, any previews of said one shot. Let's start with Tom.
Okay.
A player tonight.
A player.
Yes.
Yeah. That
I'm
was
shocked and appalled.
that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. Looking forward to picking this up again at some point.
You never know.
Yeah. This is a lot of fun. I really like your style. You put a lot of work into this, I can tell. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Again, this is the home of Laser Vision Comics here. So our Prowlers and Paragons series. So we're glad to add another chapter into it. And
Earth 12223.
that's right. So lots of stuff going on here. I'm just gonna pass it over to Jen next then.
Okay, so I'm Jen. I've played male characters in D&D, and I thought, why not? For here, I tried my best to be chaotic, but not enough to kill everyone yet. Hope I succeeded. This was a lot of fun.
I think you did.
I think you did I think you did good, Osborne.
Thank you. Yeah, and I like the direction this is going with everything we had to think about and stuff like that. That was really cool. A lot of fun. Outside of this and outside of everything at Restless Barbarian Gaming, I'm the host of the Shattered Soulstone podcast, and it's about the Diablo series of games and books and whatever's going on with the company. Comes out every Saturday. You can find it at shatteredsoulstone.com.
Okay. And let's go to Ray.
Yeah, that was very interesting for me. Like I said, first time playing this system. I've only really done D&D. I do have a couple games that I'm in over on YouTube. If you search Project Squadron, I am in Power Rangers TTRPG using the Essence 20 system. It's a very interesting system, but there's multiple groups over there, all running at the same time, just different areas of Power Rangers, all supervised by an old Power Ranger from a different team, and here with Hunter as well. So I really enjoyed it. Being a villain's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, especially around Halloween. Quick
Yeah.
question, Ray. What did you find interesting about the Prowlers and Paragon system since this was your first time?
Obviously I didn't get a chance to go into the building as much, but as for playing, just the simplistic, evens are good, odds are bad, and then here's a handful of dice, roll them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Doesn't get much more
straightforward,
easier, huh?
straightforward, easy, just simple. Everybody knows what an odd and an even is, so then you just
Perfect.
count. So
fantastic. And I have been your storyteller, Michael Walsh. You can reach me online at the socials of Pentru 1399. I do superhero stuff. I have upcoming solo projects on my channel. Lanya Gaming for a couple of one-shots involving more Borg, Vampire the Masquerade, and a couple of other surprises. I can also be found on a couple of other channels for Vancouver by Night. We shall be starting to record Changeling the Dreaming 20th Anniversary Edition again for Tales from Tarukkari, Toronto by Day. You can also find me every other Sunday on X-Row K-Row for DC by Night. And you will soon find me in a couple more upcoming VTM projects. As far as Restless, you can find them an upcoming Friday for Hunter the Reckoning 5th edition Horror at Oak Hill Part 3. And hopefully every Wednesday for Prowlers and Paragons, sponsored by Mobius World Publishing, the new haven for
Right.
heroes.
The other way.
The other
Right.
way.
It's the other way. Yeah.
Over there.
There.
Up over there.
Logo.
I hope everyone has enjoyed this evening. I love
Yeah.
storytelling this stuff. I love to play. This helps my mental health. This helps me de-stress. I love hanging out with these people. Awesome players.
100%.
Highly
We are
recommend
people.
if you want to get into superhero games, jump on Prowlers and Paragons Ultimate Edition. Extremely easy to get into, extremely easy to build a character. We will be coming up with other ideas, other one-shots, and not always exactly in the typical superhero setting, but you can use this system for multiple options. So it is very expansive, very easy to use. With that, I'm not going to hold anybody else up. So please like, follow, subscribe to Restless Barbarian Gaming on Twitch, YouTube, and big things are coming. So
Awesome.
have a good night, everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Good night.
All right.